8 years old, and a flour sack cape tied all around his neck. He climbed upon the garage, figuring, what the heck? He screwed his courage up so tight, the whole thing come unwound. He got a running start, and bless his heart, he headed for the ground. He's one of those who knows that life is just a leap of faith. Spread your arms and hold your breath. Always trust your cape. Friends and grasshoppers, this is the Formless Podcast number 97.
Wow, 97.
I'm Dustin, and my very special guest today is none other than Super Tom.
Greetings.
No relation to the superhuman who is out today. He had some family things to take care of. But I got to thinking, I've had some free time recently, and I got to do a little homeschooling of my own for you boys. And we did a whole bunch of stuff. What did we do today? This week? We used tools.
We used a flint and steel.
Yeah, we're getting there. But what did we use first? We did a pop rivet gun.
We did the pop rivet gun. We also used a drill.
A grinder.
We used
saws. Different kinds of saws.
Different saws. Used a
hammer and chisel. What else? Sawzall. That one was fun, huh?
We made a what is it called, a cart.
Oh, we made a welding cart. Yeah, we did a whole bunch of cool stuff. And then the next day, we tried to light a fire by hand with a flint and steel, which is not very easy, is it?
No.
What did we use
that day?
Yeah, when we tried to start the fire, what did we use?
We used the flint and the steel.
Okay, but what was our fuel? Remember, what are the three things that you need to start a fire? Oxygen.
The fuel.
Oh,
I forgot the other.
Spark.
Yeah.
Something to make a spark.
Totally.
And
knew that.
What was the fuel that we used?
The fuel that we used was flint and steel.
No. That was what we used to make the spark. What did we try and light on fire? That was our fuel.
The flint.
No, sir.
But lint. That.
Pocket lint.
Lint
from the dryer, which is, as we found, very flammable.
Yeah.
It lit right up like no tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Your brothers had a little trouble.
Yeah.
But they got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had a little more trouble than they did.
Yeah. So, want to say something?
Go right on ahead. Say something.
So, okay. When you're got weaker hands, weaker arms, pretty much use that stuff. But this is more of a strength and a smart thing. And boy, did I struggle with that a lot.
You struggled with it. But, I was really proud of you because there's been a lot of things that you have, you're 10.
Yeah.
And being 10 and your brothers are 15 and 18, they come by things a little bit easier than you sometimes because they're 5 and 8 years older than you.
Yeah.
They've got a little bit more life experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you, from my perspective, you tend to want to do the things that they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have some fun,
Yeah, have some fun. And you see them do something and you're like, I want to try it. Yeah. And it was no different with the fire starting.
Well, that's worse, but yeah.
Which was very cool to see. But
it's fun.
The thing that, I took a bunch of video of you making sparks.
Yeah.
And you got a little discouraged at one point and you wanted to quit. And you even You even gave yourself blisters and cut your finger a little bit. He's showing the camera his Band-Aids, those of you that are not watching on YouTube. It was really inspiring to me.
It was?
Yeah, because you did get frustrated and you got really mad and you quit at one point.
Yeah.
And then a few minutes later, you'd come back after you had calmed down and you went right back to it and you were trying as hard as you could. And that was inspiring to me because you didn't give up entirely. You did get discouraged and it was tough, but you didn't quit entirely. I don't know that most kids your age would have kept going once they saw their fingers bleeding or their blisters breaking. And you literally had blisters on your fingers and you had cut yourself a little bit. Nothing bad. It wasn't like
too bad.
It wasn't like you cut your finger off or anything, but you just gave yourself a little scrape. But you kept trying, and it was really cool to see. And we did stop for quite a bit. We stopped. We had some lunch and took a little break, a couple hours.
Yeah.
And I decided that I wasn't going to push you. I wanted to push you to keep trying, but I thought it might turn into
a little argument.
Well, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to make it harder on you than it already was. Yeah. And I figured that if I pushed you really hard, or if I made you continue, that you were going to get really upset. Yeah. And so I didn't bring it up anymore. And you came to me later and said, hey, could we try again? Yeah. And so what did we do?
We got out there.
What was the first thing that we did, though?
Calm down.
We calmed down. And take a deep breath.
Deep breath. Went outside.
Mm-hmm. And then what? And
started that frickin' fire.
Yes, we did, huh? We posted that. I posted that on all sources, on all the social media, and it was pretty cool. And I was pretty excited for you.
Still happy about that.
Do you remember what I told you about? What was the lesson? The difference between winners and losers.
Winners don't quit.
Don't quit. Winners fail.
They do.
Just as many times as losers fail.
But they don't quit.
They don't quit.
Can I say something? Just to the camera?
To the camera? Well, you're talking right now, so I don't see why you can't say anything.
This is just... So, when I've always kind of felt that way, but that day...
What do you mean? Felt what way?
That I'm kind of not really... I felt the same way about the flint and steel.
I'm not following. So, like, you feel like...
I feel like what I did. Remember, on that day, I was pretty down.
You were upset.
I have days like that.
Yeah, everybody does,
lot,
son.
It's a lot.
Everybody does.
That day was different.
What's that? What was different?
Because I finally felt a win.
Oh, okay. So you didn't recognize your wins before?
Yeah. It's like opening a new book.
Well, do you remember what I told you? I said you can quit now, but you already know how to do this. You were already making the sparks. All you needed to do was get the sparks to land on the fuel. And I said, if you quit now, you're not going to get to feel what it's like to accomplish this. And just think about how awesome it's going to feel after all of that hard work when you finally do it. Huh?
Yeah.
And you were so excited.
I was so happy.
Yeah. Yeah. How cool was that?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Awesome. So I wanted to say, like, don't feel discouraged if you can't do something.
Ah.
If you find yourself through a rough patch, just
Try a little
Yeah.
more? Try a little more?
Try again.
Yeah.
Until you die.
Okay.
You're gonna make me disappointed if you don't.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's interesting thought. So, but let me ask you this: how did it feel when you couldn't do it?
When I couldn't do
When
it.
it wasn't working for you, you were pretty discouraged. What did that feel like?
I just wanted to lay down, just not do anything.
Uh-huh. You were pretty upset.
I was mad,
frustrated.
sad.
Mm-hmm. And everybody else had done it. Your brothers had done it. Dad did it.
Saw Papa do it in the background.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Papa was burning
fire.
brush. Yeah, but he cheated a little bit. He is some fuel. He's like gas.
He's gasoline.
Yeah,
geez.
yeah. We were doing it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
But you did it.
It
took you a little while, but you did it.
Yeah.
And how awesome was that?
It felt amazing.
So, what do you think the lesson was there?
A lot of things. For one, just don't feel discouraged. Don't.
Well,
It was obviously how to make fire, but
yeah,
I feel like there was more to that.
I think there was a little bit more to that. I think that there was a lesson in that you learned a little bit about perseverance and about trying, and that sometimes you have to kind of take a break and come back to things. You know, we had the luxury of not freezing to death or not having to cook our food on the fire or things like that.
That was great.
There was not a bunch of snow on the ground. We weren't going to freeze to death. So
we weren't dying.
No, exactly. But we had the gift of time there. We could come back to it later when we were calm. Yeah. And when we had kind of figured out exactly how to use that flint and steel, and like how to actually make sparks with it, huh?
Yeah.
Like how hard did you have to push down on that flint? With the steel?
Hard as I really could.
Yeah.
Just, it was rough, man.
Yeah.
I got blisters. I had cuts. I wanted to give up.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go home, sob, eat some food.
Yeah, yeah. But you did it.
Yeah.
Okay. How cool.
That felt amazing.
Yeah. It's awesome, son. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah, no problem, buddy.
Sorry.
Try not to do that right in the mic.
Sorry.
No problem. It's okay. It's okay. Anything else that you want to talk about?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, go for it.
So, one thing I wanted to talk about today was, so I noticed something when I was doing karate.
Okay.
I noticed that, everyone's a lot taller than me.
Not everyone, but
most of them.
Most people are a little bit bigger than you.
Yeah.
Or a lot bigger than you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I realized, like, kind of.
Is that hard sometimes?
Yeah. But
sparring people that are taller and bigger than you? Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you realize?
I realized that I could, if I move fast enough, if I use my speed as my strength, I got a vulnerability.
You can get away from them?
I can get away from them.
Get around.
I can get in them.
You can get inside?
Yes.
Okay.
Thomas out of context right there.
Thomas out of context, yeah. Okay. What else?
Well, I put that to my use. It's pretty good. It works decently. So, kind of kept trying on that.
So do you think that the two things that you learned are related?
In my opinion, no.
No. Really?
think about it,
well,
flint.
let me say something here a little bit.
Okay.
So using the flint and steel is not the same as punching and kicking people.
No.
No. We're talking about two different things.
Mm-hmm.
But the perseverance and the ability to keep going when you were discouraged starting the fire, and the perseverance you use in martial arts when you're not doing as well as you'd like to do, means you're willing to work to get somewhere. You're willing to work until you get better, and you're trying to get better. You got better at building a fire, and you get better at building your skills in martial arts. So, do you always win in martial arts?
No.
No.
You're going to lose.
Okay. Did you win every time you tried to start a fire with the flint and steel?
No.
Okay.
But I'm talking about like speed. But if you think about it, flint and steel, you can't really use speed. Yeah, it's helpful, but if you just keep going,
it makes little sparks.
It's gonna make little sparks,
and you want to make big sparks.
You want to make a big spark, so you're gonna want to time those out.
And push hard.
Yeah, but if you're just gonna keep on going like what Cole did, he got lucky there because he just kept going and going with that.
So was it easy for everybody to start a fire?
No.
No, it took time for everyone.
Yeah.
So is that another lesson maybe that we learned?
Yeah.
What was that?
That most things are hard for a lot of people, not just me.
Yeah. But the people that are really good at stuff like that have done it so many times that they make it look easy.
But they did flint and steel?
No. No, but I mean the people that like in martial arts, there are people that are really good.
Yeah.
Right? But they've done it. They have the gift of experience. They've been doing it longer, or they've been working on it longer, and so it looks easy to them. But you didn't happen to see them learning and them struggling on those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some things that you're still learning and that you're still struggling with, but you do get better the more you do it, right?
Yeah.
So, do we need a little patience? Just a little bit? Gotta wait. Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's important.
Huh?
I said that's important.
That's important. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah. Actually.
Okay, go for it, buddy.
So, I know that I want to talk about, as hard as this to say is, even recently, that I've considered just dropping karate.
What?
I'm not, but...
Of course you're not.
I'm not.
Of course you're not.
It's... How can I say this? I didn't want to pull a Cole, but I was...
Explain to the people who don't know.
Okay. My brother dropped...
Who? Which brother?
Coltrane.
You have two brothers. Coltrane. Okay.
Dropped out of karate.
When?
About Hunter's, I want to say, like brown belt? When Hunter was a brown belt?
I'm not sure when exactly, but...
Yeah.
So, in one of our earlier podcasts, both you and Coltrane were on it, remember?
And
he, at the time, had been taking a break from martial arts.
Yeah.
And then when his older brother, your older brother as well, Hunter, got his black belt, he kind of got fired up again and started training.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that they have context, what were you going to say?
Even like Monday, and last Monday and Thursday.
Okay.
I was considering just not doing karate anymore.
Okay.
I kind of lost hope. It's just, after a while, it feels exactly the same.
And you've been doing this, you've been going down to the school your entire life.
Like, even when I was like a baby.
Yeah.
I watched them do classes. I was a toddler.
And before that.
Even before that, yeah. It's a while.
Okay.
Karate baby.
So, so you've been thinking about quitting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was talking to some friends.
At school?
Yeah, at the karate.
At martial arts, okay.
And I couldn't stop I stopped thinking about that.
About what?
About quitting. I continued. I pushed through.
Okay. Then why do you think you did that?
Because, 3 reasons actually. 1, it's just, I call karate like my second home.
Okay.
I go there a lot.
Yeah. You've been doing it your whole life.
I've been doing it my whole life. It's like my second home at this point.
Okay.
2, it's a lot of black belt friends and etc. They're like keep pushing me, like Sensei Poco, Sensei Llewellyn, like
Sensei Cord,
yeah.
Other Sensei Llewellyn, Sensei Montgomery,
Sensei Skip,
Sensei Blue,
Sensei Blue, Sensei Hovis,
yeah, all those guys. Yeah, they keep pushing you.
Yo.
Of course. Why should? I'm your dad.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I couldn't let them down.
Do you think you would be letting them down?
Yes.
Well, do you think it's more important to not let them down or not let you down?
Me.
So, okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
There was a small part of me in the back of my head whispering like, don't do this.
Okay.
But I can hear over, do this!
Okay.
But, yeah. It was...
Interesting. Okay.
What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say that maybe working that flint and steel and some of those other tools that we worked earlier this week kind of showed you that hard work pays off.
Yeah.
And that sometimes things take time. Sometimes they come easy. Everybody's a little bit different. Like, I don't swim very well.
Yeah.
I can swim, but I don't swim super hot. And, I could swim across a swimming pool, but I might not be as fast as other people.
Yeah.
Right? But I'll get there eventually. I tell a lot of younger students that are super eager to get the new belt or the next test or whatever, that it's not a race. And we get caught up in this, like, oh, well,
I have to do this.
Yeah.
I gotta do that. I gotta catch up.
Because the next kid next to me just got their new belt. I need to get up there with them.
Yeah.
That's really not the purpose. The purpose is the self-improvement. Yeah. Are you getting better? Are you trying? Are you learning? You and I don't learn the same way. We learn different ways, just like the other kids at class. They don't learn the same way you do, and you don't learn the same way they do. But you still learn, and you still get what? You get better as long as you keep trying. Right? Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. We have some other things that we got to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, can you... Hit me. Okay. What's this? Number 6. Read it.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Friends, we have a Facebook post. We have a Facebook account, Instagram, and YouTube channels, as well as X. All of those are under the Formless Pod. We have a website called theformlesspod.com. You can check out all of the merch and other news that we have on there, as well as our podcast episodes.
Sorry, my hand.
Yeah, I know. We got some exciting stuff coming up. We're working on getting back up to Portland and talking to some of the original students of Wu Ying Dao and Wu Ying Mun. Can you tell them what?
Because you're going to see.
Oh no, that's down the road a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was important.
No, he lives in Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sensei Blue lives in Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
That's 3,000 miles away. We gotta make special arrangements for that.
Yeah.
But we're working on that diligently, and hopefully that'll be happening sooner rather than later. We've had some obstacles pop up, but we're working on that.
Actually, I have one question for
Oh, you have a question for me?
So,
okay.
I remember you, well, obviously I remember you doing your black belt test.
Okay.
And I'm looking at that, and that's hard, huh?
Yeah, it was very hard.
I was curious about, like, so you, Santa Pokov, and a group of other people did the test, and cannot talk, passed.
Yes.
I thought when you were sparring the other black belts,
I
saw that they kind of all have different unique styles that they do. For example, like I like punches. I do a lot of punches, barely do any kicks.
Okay.
You kind of mix.
Okay.
Do a good amount of kicks, punches. Okay. Cole.
Okay, but what are we talking about?
I'm talking about. I noticed, like, I don't know, when I saw you do the test, I never really noticed that everyone has a different style.
Okay, everyone's unique.
Okay. When they're doing this, they're not all just...
We're not cookie cutters.
No.
Okay.
And kind of opened my eyes when I did that. When I saw...
When you watched? Okay.
Yeah. And I kind of got curious, like, what does everyone do? Like...
Well, everyone's a little bit different. Yeah. Because we're all different people.
I got curious,
Okay, well, what were you curious about?
I got curious what they do.
What do you mean what they do?
I wanted to pretty much spar with everyone.
Okay.
I want to know what...
Oh, you're trying to figure out, like, how everybody's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone...
Yeah.
Style. Yeah.
Well, we all train the same style.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
But
I know they train the same style.
Okay. But
what I'm saying is...
Everybody's a little bit different. It's like handwriting.
Yeah,
your handwriting doesn't look like your brother's.
No.
Your handwriting doesn't look like mom's.
No. Yeah, everyone...
Okay, but you write, and you can read it.
Yeah.
And other people can read it. It's the same letters, they're just written slightly different.
Yes, that's what I'm...
That's what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm learning to talk, everyone.
Did you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, go for it.
So, kind of like a revisit to the Flint and Steel conversation.
Okay.
I felt harder, right? It felt harder. I have to adapt to what these people do.
Yes.
I have to learn everyone's different style.
Okay.
Like Hunter, it's got long legs.
Yeah.
Does a lot of kicks.
Mm-hmm.
I have to learn...
He's much taller than you.
I have to learn how to, like, adapt to that.
Okay.
Gotta learn just how I can overcome that obstacle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a key to life there, buddy.
Yeah. Right there.
There's always going to be obstacles.
Yeah.
All right. So, what was the overall lesson that you learned?
The overall lesson that I learned... What was this? What are you doing? Kiss the mic.
Don't quit.
That...
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay, good.
You can read my mind. Alright.
Awesome. Anything else?
Well, one thing. One more thing. The last thing. Subscribe.
You already said that.
I know, but in case they missed it.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, friends. We hope you have a wonderful evening, wonderful morning, wonderful day, whatever time it is that you're listening to this. Make sure it's a good one.
If I don't see you tomorrow, good evening, good morning, good night. Thomas out.